Hey guys, what's up? I'm Rohit Khurana, host of Intellect, and if you are in the market to buy a OnePlus smartphone and you are confused between the OnePlus 7 and the OnePlus 7T, in this video, we'll try to clear your confusion. We'll tell you all the differences between the OnePlus 7 and the OnePlus 7T and which one should you buy and which one should you not buy and why. Let's get started with this comparison. So to start with, the OnePlus 7 and the 7T come at different prices. The 7 was released few months back and the 7T is comparatively a newer iteration. The 7T is an improvement over the OnePlus 7 in many ways, including the display, camera, battery, fast charging, etc. So a lot of things have changed. So let's start with the pricing and get that out of the way. The OnePlus 7 is available with a 6GB RAM and 128GB variant at 29,000 rupees, 8GB RAM and 256 variant at 35,000 rupees. The OnePlus 7T on the other hand is available with 8GB RAM and 128GB memory at 38,000 rupees and 8GB RAM or 256 at 40,000 rupees. So the price difference is quite considerable if you're considering the lower variant. But if you are considering the 8256, the price difference is approximately 5,000 rupees. So the lower variant of the OnePlus 7 is cheaper by approximately 9,000 rupees, and the reason is that the base variant of the OnePlus 7T comes with 8GB of RAM, whereas the base variant of the OnePlus 7 comes with 6 gigs of RAM. So that is the price difference. So now you know that how much you are paying extra for the OnePlus 7T. But what do you get extra by paying extra? So first thing is, the biggest change is the display. This one gets an optic AMOLED panel which is a Full HD Plus, whereas this one is a fluid AMOLED. Now terminologies aside, this is a 90 Hz display, which means that its scrolling is super smooth and the refresh rate of this display is much higher. The quality of this display compared to this one is superior. Even the size is slightly bigger. This one is a 6.55 inch, whereas this one is a 6.41 inch. In terms of design, they look very similar. In fact, when I turn off the display, you would hardly be able to tell any difference. And in terms of color saturation and quality, this one looks slightly better. And in terms of the scrolling experience, if you're a gamer, then definitely a 90 Hz display makes a lot of sense. It also comes with HDR10 Plus. So the dynamic range of this display is better over this one. This one is HDR10 and this is HDR10 Plus. So these are a few differences when it comes to display. So if display is on top of your priority list, then go for the OnePlus 7T over the OnePlus 7. No matter if you have to pay some extra money. And that is not the only thing which is different, because the OnePlus 7T is slightly larger in terms of size and also has larger camera modules. It is approximately 8 grams heavier compared to the OnePlus 7, which is not too bad when it comes to considering that this one also gets a slightly larger battery. I'll talk about that. It's not a huge difference, but that is a slight difference that you get here. Next thing is that the software on the OnePlus 7 is the Android 9 with Oxygen OS, the older Oxygen OS version, whereas this one comes with the Android 10 right out of the box. So you will find some gestures, some extra features on the OnePlus 7T, but that will eventually seep down into this version, the OnePlus 7 as well, because OnePlus is quite prompt in updating their software. So it will not take long before the OnePlus 7 also gets Android 10 and the latest version of Oxygen OS. So it's only a matter of time. But if you want it badly right now, the OnePlus 7T is the way to go if you want the latest software. When it comes to performance, there is also a slight bump. The OnePlus 7T comes with a Snapdragon 855 Plus processor, which is the Plus variant of the 855 that you find in the OnePlus 7. Now this Plus variant comes with slightly faster high performance cores, which are clocked at 2.96 GHz compared to 2.84 GHz on the Snapdragon 855. Which practically translates, when we run the benchmarks, you will find that this one gives you approximately 5% better scores. This one gets 3,80,000, this one gets approximately 4 lakh on AnTuTu benchmarks. So does a 5% difference make a lot of difference to you? Maybe for gamers, but in day-to-day usage you would hardly notice any difference in terms of performance. Both are really good, but when it comes to the screen refresh rate, definitely the feel of it the OnePlus 7T does feel better compared to the OnePlus 7. The major difference, the most major difference, which should probably be the only thing that you should be considering, only major thing that you should be considering, is the cameras. The cameras on the OnePlus 7T are majorly improved over the OnePlus 7. The primary camera is 48 megapixel on both, but here you get a 5 megapixel secondary depth sensor, whereas here you get a 16 megapixel ultra wide and a 2x telephoto 12 megapixel lens, which means that this is practically a 3 camera phone, whereas this is a single camera with a secondary depth sensor or a dual camera phone at best. And on the front, both get the identical 16 megapixel front facing camera. So let me show you the camera performance on both the phones. So let me first take a selfie with both of them. Now let's try out the rear facing cameras on both the phones together. So I'm trying to take similar shots with these phones. So let's first try the OnePlus 7T. Here I'm taking a normal photo. This is the 2x and this is the ultra wide, which is the 0.6x. Whereas on this phone you would find a normal mode and you would find a 2x, but this is optical, this is a digital, not optical, unlike the other phone. So here you have less options in terms of clicking pictures. This one is a digitally zoom shot, whereas on this phone, if you look at this photo, this is an optically zoomed shot which has been taken with a 12 megapixel sensor with 2x optical zoom. Let me turn on the auto rotate here. Right, so here we have it. So these are the shots, quite comparable in terms of quality. So no big difference here, and no big difference here as well. Very comparable shots, but the major difference is here, which is the ultra wide. This capability is missing on the OnePlus 7. You can't take wide angle shots like this with the what you can take with the 16 megapixel sensor of the OnePlus 7T. So OnePlus 7T is more close to the OnePlus 7 Pro, which is the higher end variant of the OnePlus flagships. And when it comes to selfie cameras, I think they are more or less the same. The quality is exactly the same because the sensors are same here. The only difference that you would probably see is because of the color temperature of the display. They look slightly different in terms of color temperature, but in terms of detailing, they are equally good shots. The selfies are equally good with both the cameras. So if you take a lot of selfies, it won't matter much, but if you take a lot of pictures with the rear facing cameras, the OnePlus 7T is more versatile. Another difference is the battery. The OnePlus 7 comes with a 3700 mAh battery, whereas this one comes with a 3800. But the downside is that this one has a 90 Hz refresh rate display, which will drain more battery as well. So practically, you can assume that both these phones would probably give you similar battery life, and the OnePlus 7T may give you slightly less battery life because it also has a faster processor. So if you are gaming and using the phone to its full potential, then there are chances that the OnePlus 7 would last longer compared to the OnePlus 7T, but OnePlus 7T is a higher performance phone. Another good thing with the OnePlus 7T is that you get a 30 watt fast charger compared to a 20 watt fast charger that you get with OnePlus 7. And the 30 watt charger that you get is the newest version, which is they call 30T, the Warp Charge 30T, which is among the fastest in the among the smartphones. So the fast charging on the OnePlus 7T is quite superior compared to the OnePlus 7. So that is one clear advantage that you get on the OnePlus 7T. Now we come back to the question whether you should buy a OnePlus 7T over OnePlus 7. It comes down to very basic two questions. Do you take a lot of pictures with the rear facing camera? If the answer is yes, go for OnePlus 7T. Are you a gamer and are you a very avid gamer where a 5% difference in performance will make a lot of difference to you? Then yes, definitely go for OnePlus 7T. Also, if you play games which are like first-person shooters or games like PUBG where you need really high refresh rates, then OnePlus 7T also makes a lot of sense because of the 90 Hz display. So just because of 90 Hz display, the OnePlus 7T takes a lot of lead over the OnePlus 7. But if you're someone who uses their phone not too much for gaming and does not take too many pictures with the rear facing camera, you can save some money and go for the OnePlus 7. It is slightly lighter as well, and feels slightly more compact and gives you all the goodness of the Oxygen OS and the OnePlus experience at a cheaper price, at a comparatively much cheaper price if you are going for a 6 GB RAM variant. And trust me, you would not feel that you are using a slow phone. It is very fast. The OnePlus 7 itself is very fast, and OnePlus 7T is insanely fast. Approximately 5% faster, but with a much better display refresh rate. So here you have it. If you want to spend some money, if the budget is not a problem, then go for OnePlus 7T, and you can as well consider OnePlus 7 Pro as well, and the 7T Pro is also there. So if you want to consider that, but between these two, that is my verdict. What are your thoughts? Do let us know in the comment section. If you enjoyed watching this video, give us a thumbs up, stay subscribed, and press the bell icon for latest videos. This is your host Rohit Khurana signing off. Thanks for watching.